we will cover JDBC in servlet. So this is one of the most important terminology, so which is very useful for project development. So already we all have studied the concept of a JDBC. So now we will see how JDBC code we will write in a servlet. So we will get the clarity by taking an example. Let's suppose we have a sign off form. Now it is any application when you are entering. Okay, suppose I will enter into Amazon. So first of all, I have to sign off. Means I will give my detail, my phone number, my mail ID, my name. So this is called a sign off. So first of all, let we have a sign off form. Let my file name is signoff.html or registration.html. Let's sign off.html file, and we will see there are some attributes. Suppose we will consider name is one attribute, so there is a text box. Let there is another attribute, suppose contact or mobile number. Let there is another text box. Let there is mail id, email. So there is a text box. Okay, let another attribute address. So there is a text box, and there is a command button. So let the value of the command button is sign off. So let this is my sign off form. So this form having four attributes: one is name, one is contact, one is email, and one is address. Then the user will give the value of name. So user will put contact, email value, address value. So when so the user will click sign off button. So as we know, when we will click on a button, then action will generate. So when the user putting all values, then the user will click on sign up button. Then let the task is one servlet will execute. One servlet will execute. So let the servlet name is, let sign of servlet.java. So what is the purpose of this servlet? So servlet will process the form data, as we know how to process the form data, and we will write the JDBC code here. So as a result, the data will go to the database. So whatever the user will give the name value, contact value, email value, address value. So we want all values will assign in a table. Okay, so that is my objective, or that is the objective of sign of servlet.java, and one response message generate a positive response, generate a response registration or sign off is successful. So this is the objective of servlet. Okay, so what is my required files, what files that we have to develop. Required files, first is a sign of .html file, second sign of servlet.java, then third is web.xml file. Okay, so this is my problem task. We have a sign off form, and when we will put the data in this form, data will go to the database, and one response that we will get, sign off is successful. Then we will check the database and we will check so whether data have inserted or not. Okay, so this is my problem task. So first of all, what we have to do, the first point, we have to open database environment. Here we are using MySQL as database environment. So I will open MySQL. So in search button, simply I will type MySQL workbench. So I will open MySQL workbench. So this is my database environment. The first point is we will do analysis. In sign off form, how many attributes? One, two, three, four attributes. That means I will create a database, and inside that database I will create a table. Let the table name is sign off. So one table I will create containing four columns. That means based on this sign off form, I will create a table by taking that number of columns. So here in sign off form, there are four attributes. In table, I will create a sign off table that will contain four columns. Okay. So now, first of all, I will create a database, create database name. Let my database name is sign off DB. Okay, so I will create a database because before creating a table in MySQL context, that already we all have known. So before creating a table, first of all I have to create a database. So how to create a database? Create a database name. Now I will hit run. This is execute button. So happily one database created, sign of DB. Let my database name is sign of DB. So here this is the refresh button, you click. So you see, so sign of DB. So one database created. So now I will create a table. So how to create a table? Create table, table name. So table name, always we specify database name dot table name. Let my table name is sign off. Let my table name is sign off. Okay. So first of all, you see, so which column that I will take? Name, contact, email, address. Name. So name, let data type is varchar 200. Okay, so we know that every column identified by data type. So this is name. So name, let it, I will specify a constraint not null. This is optional. Name, then contact, let varchar 200 not null. Name, contact, then email, name, contact, email, then address. Email varchar 200. Let I will consider this is primary key. Then address, let varchar 200, let not null. So if this is my last column, then there is no comma, then bracket end. So in this way, first step number one, I will go to database environment. Then I will create a table based on the form. So now, as per our analysis, I created a table. I created a table. So let my table name is sign off table. Okay. So now I will hit run. So now I will hit run. So now table created. Okay. Now coming to our analysis. Okay, so now I will go to Eclipse environment, and in this Eclipse environment, first we have to develop signup.html file. Then we will develop signup.servlet.java. Then web.xml file that already we have known it is common to every servlet. So now I will open Eclipse environment. Already I have a project structure, my servlet projects. So right click on web app folder. So new HTML sign off. Let my HTML file is sign off. Click on finish button. Okay. So what I have to write? I will create a sign off form. Let that form I will put in center. Then one heading. Suppose I will give suppose sign off form. Let my form name is. Then I will end head tag. So this part already we have known. So form action equals to sign of servlet. Sign of servlet. Form action equals to sign of servlet. So any action will generate. So sign of servlet.java will execute. So this form I will create through by using table tag. Table, then a row, tr tag representing row, then td. Okay, the first is name, then td end, then td. There is a text box input type equals to text, name equals to let name, then td end. So then tr end. Okay, so this is for one attribute name, and there is a text box. Then simply I will copy, then I will paste, then I will paste here, then name, then next one is contact. Contact, simply in place of name I will write contact. So input type equals to text, name equals to contact. Then another attributes that I will paste here, name, contact, then email. For email you guys remember input type equals to email, let name equals to let whatever the value whatever you have, just you can write email. Then address. So input type equals to text, let name equals to address. Then there is a command button. So one RTD I will remove. So input type equals to submit, let value equals to sign off. So in this way all row completed. Now table completed. Now form completed. So now center completed. Control S for saving. So in this way, so I developed signup.html file, and so there are four attributes. One is name, there is a text box, contact, there is a text box, email, there is a text box, address, there is a text box. So four attributes that we specified, and one command button that I specified, and the value of the button is sign off. Okay, so first file that we developed, then I will go to create a servlet. So let my servlet name is sign of servlet.java. So I will go to my package. So src/main/java folder. So under this folder I have created a package. So here my package name is com.silan. So right click on the package, new servlet. Okay, so servlet name is sign of servlet. This is my class name. Click on next button. You see this is my URL pattern. Click on next button. I will select do get method. Click on finish button. Now sign up servlet.java created. So uh, so we will develop in our own style. So this part I will remove. This part I will remove, and this part I will remove. This part I will remove. Okay, now so this part I will remove. So we will import our package. So servlet API consisting two packages. So that package I will import java x.servlet.star package. Import java x.servlet.http.star package. Then import java.io.star package. But here just a little bit analysis that we will do. Now I am going to develop sign up servlet.java. But what is the purpose? JDBC code I will write. Just to recall, already we all have studied JDBC. So for JDBC code, it is mandatory that we have to import a package, that is java.sql package. Some built-in methods, some built-in interfaces, some built-in classes that we will use for development of JDBC application that already we all have known. So for importing java.sql package, one another point that already we have known, an external jar file that we have to bring. We are using MySQL Azure database. So MySQL connector, an external file that we have to bring into our project structure, or we will configure that external jar file into our project structure. Okay, so right click on SRC. So build path and configure build path. Already we all have known how to configure. Then click on libraries, then add external jar. So in which location that you have kept. I have stored in a D drive, in my D drive Java software folder. You see my SQL connector folder. Then I will open this file. So this is one executable jar file, MySQL connector. So now this file I will select, click on open button, click on apply button, then click on apply and close. So in this way, I brought my SQL connector file. Okay, and you see, once we will configure that jar file, for getting clarity, you see, so one folder will create. That folder name is referenced libraries. You check whether that file have come or not. So if that file have come, that means you have brought that jar file successfully. This is called as configuration of a jar file. Okay, sometimes but this jar file not working properly. If you have configured successfully, still sometimes in so many system jar file not working properly. At that time what you will do, you can deploy that jar file also, but that is optional. If you will see, if that jar file not working properly. Okay, so right click on this project, go to properties, then there is an option deployment assembly, and so there is an option src main java. Click on add button, then click on java build path entries and select this. Click on finish button, then click apply, and then click on apply and close. Okay, if somewhere, if that you have configured and that file not working properly, then you can deploy. Now so my configuration part is ready. So now happily I will import that package. Import java.sql.star package. So why this package I imported? Because I have to write the JDBC code in do get method in this servlet. Okay. So first two line is common that already we all have known, response dot set content type within bracket. I will write text or HTML, text or HTML, which type of content that we want to set as response type, whether we want text content or HTML content. So set content type is a built-in method when it is invoking by a response object that is representing what, which type of content that we want to set as response. Then print, this part already we have known, print writer out equals to a response dot get writer, get writer. So I will get out object, because once I will get out object, then I can write output statement out dot print method. So when get writer method invoking by response object, it is returning print writer object out. Now we will process our form data. So already we all have known how to process the form data. So how? There is a method, get parameter method, coming from HTTP servlet request interface. So that's why it is invoking by what? Request object, and get parameter method, when it is invoking, it is returning a string type of variable. String s1 let equals to request dot get parameter within bracket, what I will write. So what for name, so what you have written name equals to exactly, so that part we will put here. So we have four attributes, so four times I have to call get parameter method. So I copied, so I pasted here. So happily I can write S2, S3, S4. Then I have written name equals to contact. I have written for mail name equals to email, and I have written name equals to address. Just to check. So name, contact, email, address. So name value assigned in S1, contact value will assign in S2, email value will assign in S3, address value will assign in S4. So in this way, we what processed our form data. So this part already we have known. Then after processing the form data, now we will start JDBC code. We will start to write JDBC code. Just simple analysis you do. In sign off form, when the user will put data, data will go to the database. Data will insert into sign off table. That means it is a concept of what, inserting a record into table. So already we all have studied how to insert a record into a table. For that, what will be the required JDBC code? So it is a DML operation. Okay, so what execution method that we have to call execute update method. Execute update method is a such method returning an int value. So let I will take an what output variable, let int k equals to 0. That means let we have no record. If k equals to 1, then one record will insert, or one record inserted. So why I am taking int variable? Because I have to call execute update method. If our frequent operation is a DML operation, inserting a record, updating a record, okay, delete a record, then from three execution method, execute query method, execute update method, and execute method. So we have to call execute update method. Okay, then another point for that. So I what took a variable int variable, because execute update method I have to call, and execute update method is a such method which is returning an int value. So for that we took an int variable, let the output value is 0. That means let we have no record. Then another point is, by default JDBC code throwing checked exception. So in that time when we are developing JDBC program, so throws keyword we were using public static void main throws exception. But here, so there is no what method here. So that's why I have to write within try block and catch block. Okay, so why I am writing the what within try block, and once we will specify the try block, it is mandatory that we have to specify the catch block. Okay, because without catch try is meaningless, without try catch is meaningless. So since by default JDBC code throwing checked exception, that's why I am writing within try block and catch block. Same concept. So this part already we have known to load and register the driver. So this part already we have known. So type for driver that we will use. So what is the statement? Class dot for name method. Okay, there is a method for name. It is a static method when it is invoking by a class, name it as a class, and for name method taking one argument. So that argument is what? com dot mysql com dot mysql dot jdbc dot driver. Okay, so for name method taking an argument, that argument is a driver. This is the type for driver class name for mysql database, and this is the path. If I want to get driver class, then I have to go through the path. So when this statement executed, type for driver loaded. Okay, then step number two, what? Same point, same step. Establish the connection. Establish the connection. Connection object is representing establishment of connection. So connection is an interface. So how I will get connection object? Let connection con equals to driver manager. Driver manager dot get connection method. So there is a built-in method get connection method. It is a static method because it is invoking by driver manager class. So when get connection method, when it is invoking by driver manager class, it is returning connection object, or we are getting connection object. So get connection method taking taking three argument. Okay, third argument is the password of your database environment. My password is Silan. So at the time of installation of MySQL, whatever you have given the password, so that password is the third argument. Second argument is default user account, that is root. Then first argument is URL. Okay, so what is URL? JDBC is my protocol colon MySQL database name sub protocol colon, then server name localhost. Server name is localhost, then colon 3306 is my port number. Then so database name, my database name is what? Sign of db. Sign of db is my database name. Okay, so this is my what? First argument, and this argument is called as URL. Okay, so get connection method taking three arguments. Then step number three, create the statement object. Step number three, create the statement object. Create the statement object. So since it is our task is to perform DML operations, that already we all have known, which interface object that I have to get prepare statement. Prepare statement ps equals to let con dot, there is a method prepare statement. So there is a method prepare statement method. Okay, so when prepare statement method is invoking by connection object con, then it is returning prepare statement object. Prepare statement method coming from connection interface, that's why it is invoking by connection object. So within bracket, what I have to write as an argument? The required SQL statement. The required SQL statements. The required SQL statement. Insert into, so my table name is sign off. Just to see, so my table name is sign off table. So insert into table name, then values. Okay, then values, I have four columns. Okay, then values. Okay, insert into table name, then values, question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark. Four columns, then I will specify four question marks. So this is called as parameterized SQL statement. So prepared statement interface specifically used for parameterized SQL statement that already we all have studied. So once parameterized SQL statement that we have specified, immediately we have to set the value by invoking setter method ps dot set string. Okay, because already here at the time of processing form data, all name value will assign in S1, S2, S3, S4, contact S2, email S3, address value will assign in S4, all are string type of variable. So I will text set string. So one for first column is one. Name value have assigned in S1. Similarly, just I will copy. Then I will paste here. I will paste here. I will paste here. So 2, comma 3, comma 4. This is fourth column S1, then S2, then S3, then S4. So this is step number 3. Name value have assigned in S1, then contact value have assigned S2, email value have assigned in S3, address value have assigned in S4. This part already we all have known. Step number 3, then step number 4, execute. Execute SQL statement. So output variable k equals to let ps is the prepare statement object dot which method, execute update method. Execute update method. Okay, so now step number 4 completed. Execute update method. Now I can write the logic if k is greater than 0, because k, let we have considered k equals to 0, that means there is no record. If k is greater than 0, that means one record have been inserted. Okay, so I can write out dot print. Okay, so I can write registration or sign off is successful. Successful. You can what use request dispatcher concept also. If k is greater than 0, another servlet can provide the response. There is no problem. So here we have generated the response. If k is greater than 0, then sign off is successful. So in this way, try block, this is try block begin and try block end. So in this way, so try block completed, because then once try block completed, so 1 minute. So this is if block, this is try block. So once try block completed, then immediately we have to specify the catch block. Catch exception is I will specify the catch block. Okay, e dot print tag trace method. This is optional. Okay, so any what uh, exception may arise. So this method, when it will call, it will give the description, detailed description about your exception. But this line you may write or you may not write, there is no problem. But our task is anyhow we have to specify the catch block. You see control S. Okay, control S for saving. You see there is no red color cross mark. So our code is right. So you see, after processing the form data, I have started writing JDBC code. Okay, so this part already you all have known. Simply this is the code for inserting a record into a table. Okay, so now I will go to web.xml file. Web.xml file. Okay, so web.xml file. So first of all, we have to set our welcome file, that is sign off.html. So then we have one servlet. So I will remove this part. So web.xml file that already we have known, servlet begin, servlet end. Let servlet name is abc, then servlet class com.silan. My servlet class name is sign of servlet. Okay, so web.xml file, servlet begin, servlet end. So then there are two sub attribute, servlet name and servlet class. So whatever you give the servlet name and the servlet class is what package name dot class name. Here our class name is sign up servlet. Similarly, servlet mapping begin, servlet mapping end, and here there are two sub attribute, servlet name. Simply same. So you will do copy and paste here. And what is the URL pattern? We have seen slash sign of servlet. Control S. So this is my web.xml file. This is my web.xml file. So in this way that we completed our all required files. So our required files was what? Signup.html, signup web.xml file. In this way, whatever we have the required files that we developed. Now this is signup.html, this is signup and this is web.xml file. Now I will run. So how to run? So right click on the project, run as, run on server. Then select server, then click on next button, then select the project, click on finish button. So now the server is executing our application. So first sign off form will display. Yes. So now sign off form will display. So I will put the name here. Suppose I will give the name Smith, contact suppose 943920211, email suppose Smith for you at the rate gmail.com, and suppose address is suppose Bhubaneswar. Okay, so in this way that I will give the value, and now I will click the sign up button. So when I will click sign up button, sign up servlet.java will execute. So one response message will generate. Now I will click. Okay, just to see. So a response message generated, sign off is successful. Then data will go to the database. So whether data have gone or not, so we will check my database environment. Okay, so in this table that we had created, this is the structure of table, sign of db dot sign of. This is my structure of a table. So there are name, contact, email, address. Now I want to see all the records inside of table. So what I have to write, select star from table. Okay, so now I will hit run. You see, so whatever the record data we inserted in sign off form, so that data inserted into sign off table. Name is Smith, contact, email, address. So I hope everybody got clarity. So in this way, in a servlet, we wrote JDBC code. So this is the important, this servlet is. So JDBC code we wrote. So directly it affected to the database, and we saw a record have inserted in our sign off table, and servlet sign up servlet.java provided a positive response, that is sign up is successful. So this is all about JDBC in servlet.